I got it. I'm right now. It was like I couldn't get it to twist. That's what happens when you get sidetracked. Now let me find it on my computer. So at least I'm up. Okay. Hopefully everything works. Are you still there, Tony? I hope. I am so excited about tonight. I have some fun things that we're going to do with ink, and it doesn't have anything to do with re-inkers or anything else. It's plain ink. Thank you. All right. I hope everybody had a great day. We've had gorgeous weather. I have both my granddaughters this weekend, and I promised them we would go to the pool. So I'm hoping it doesn't rain at all. We're going to go tomorrow. I know it's not supposed to rain tomorrow. I'll spend some time there, and then I'm going to come back because Remy's got to have a nap. Not me. I'm sorry. I need my break. And then on Sunday, we'll go again, and I figure it probably won't be very crowded on Sunday because it being Father's Day, there will be a lot of people who would be out and about and there. Who else is watching? No, nobody. It says 2, but only one person is showing up. So, but that's okay. Let's see what else is going on. Next week is crazy. I have Monday. I have get my hair cut. Tuesday I have back-to-back all day long. I have appointments. I'm going into the office to do a transition. The end of this month, I'm giving up my position since I will be moving eventually, and the contract ends in June, so it's just easier to do it that way. Wednesday, I think is pretty quiet. Thursday, Michaela is coming in. That's my daughter from California, but she and Josh are going to stay in Washington, D.C. and visit up there. Saturday, Jess and the girls and I are going up. My best friend's daughter is getting married, and we're going to go up to the wedding. It's up at a winery, and we're going to go to the wedding. They have dinner and dancing after the wedding. Her son got married. It was a beautiful wedding. We're going to do that, and then we'll come back and stay at the hotel with Josh and Michaela. And then Sunday morning, we're going to my friend's house for breakfast. And then sometime we're going to have to leave to get Josh to the airport because he's flying back to California. And then Michaela's going to stay, and she's going to come down here for a week. So the week after is going to be fun. But I got so much to do before she gets here because it's like, I don't know if she's staying with me or she's staying with Jess. And Jess will be working. So, I guess I'll be entertaining her. So crazy at the end of the month. But isn't life always that way? I go all this time and it's nice and calm and quiet, and then all of a sudden everything explodes. So hopefully that will be okay and we'll be fine. So with that, are you ready to play with some ink and watercolor? I'm going to flip this around and hopefully it will be facing the right way for you to see. So give me a minute. I'll put my hand over it so nobody gets dizzy. And I got to loosen it up a little. Let's see. Is it the right way yet? I can't see anything on my computer. Oh, got to go further. Oh, but you know what? This was upside down the last time. So hold on. Let me flip it around. Let me see if I've got it. Oh, you see all my mess. Okay. I think I got it now. Yep, there we go. Good. It's crooked, but let me see if I can straighten it out a little. Much better, much better. Look at this fun card. And this was a total mess up. So just to let you know, you can salvage it. Ignore the stuff off to the side. It's stuff I need. This is all done with ink pads and stamps. And this is watercolor paper and some water There's no re-inker on this at all. I know I've been doing a lot with re-inker. Hi Mona, glad you joined us. If you want to get this, get one of my, I got 2 cards. Share my video, go share it so that we can get some more people in here. But this is the card we're going to do. And you'll see with the other one that I did, because this has, when you do this, it has to dry before you can do the second stamping on it. So anyway, I did one earlier and I did it a little differently with this, but this is the one we're going to make. And then I've got some ideas to show you so that you can actually see some things that are, some things I've tried that worked and some that didn't work, and some suggestions for you. So here we go. Let me see, we're going to get started. I'm going to put that up there where I can see. All right, first thing you need is a board. And you need the board to tape it down. Now you can use a clipboard, anything old. This is a piece of MDF, I think is what it is, from when I had some construction done at my house. And what I did was I asked them to just cut me a piece, and they did. So this is what I use for my stamping. The next thing you need is a piece of watercolor paper. Now mine is, move it over a little. This is, I think, 4 by 4. And the reason I cut it that way is when you put your, oh, went the wrong way. When you put your tape on here to hold this down so that it doesn't warp on you, you want to leave a space because you're going to have to cut some of it off. So I use low-tack painter's tape, and I'm just going to take and I'm going to add a border all the way around, a real thin border. All right, move this. And I'm going to do it all the way around because I don't want my paper to warp. So you just use some low-tack tape. Mine just happens to be purple. There's blue out there. There's all different colors. All right, and I'm going to tape this one down. And this way, when you put water on here, it's not going to warp. All right, you need a bowl with some water and a nice paintbrush. You want a fairly decent flat brush. You want it to be flat for it. You're going to need some, a spray bottle, and this has water in it. And you need some stamps. And these are the ones that I used for the bottom. And then when I did the top, I changed this one out, but I used those 2 also. So the first thing you want to do, and when I go to spray mine, I'm going to spray it off to the side over a trash can, because if not, you'll get water everywhere and you don't want that. So I'm going to take my Gorgeous Grape. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to set that right there. I'm going to be using this stamp, but the first thing I'm going to do is I need to know about how much to wet my watercolor paper. When I wet this one, I wet the whole back, so when I stamped it the first time, it bled really, really far. It still looks kind of cool for a flower, but you'll see that the next one looks a little bit better. So what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to apply small amount of water. You're going to ink up your stamp, and this is when you spray it. So I went off and I sprayed it, and I'm going to flip it over and set it down. And then look at that. Isn't that fun? It just kind of spreads all out. And if you wanted to spread more, just add more water, but it's not going to go any further than where that water you have, where you have that water. So that's the key. Take your stamp and figure out where it, how much space it needs. Okay, so there's that. Now, the next one I did was the leaf. And I used the solid leaf, but I have to give this a little bit of time to dry. This is what takes it a while. If I go ahead and put water on here, it's going to bleed really, they're going to bleed together, which happened on my other one, which was okay. So I'm going to give it just a little bit of time. And if you're at home, what you can take and do is use your heat tool and dry it some. Let me get mine and see if I don't like to do that because it does spread the ink. I like to let it go natural. It's not doing too bad. The other thing you can take and do is use a paper towel, and that's what I'm going to do so I can stamp my leaves. All right, so now I've got my leaf, and I'm going to put one leaf right about there. So with that, I'm going to take some water, and I'm going to add some water to my watercolor paper. Now, I'm not putting a bunch on here. You want it to spread, you add a ton. All right, I spritzed it with my water, and I'm going to put it down. And there's that one. Now, I'm going to do it again, but you have to clean this. So I have my chamois right next to me, and I'm just cleaning it off, just because you don't want all that water on there. It doesn't work real well then. So now I'm going to add my next leaf. I think I'll add it like, let me see, up like that. So I'm going to add some water to my paper, and I'm not going too close because see, when you get close, it's going to bleed in. So don't get too close. I love playing with water and ink and having some fun. And I'm going to kind of go into it a little bit so that it looks like it's part of it. So there, I've got that. And now it looks kind of strange like this, but that's okay. We will get there. Trust me, you will like it. I'm going to take one of another new in color. These are all new, not in colors, new colors in our collection. This one is Mango Medley. And I'm going to open it. And these are fairly new. I haven't used them too much. And I'm going to add these in here, so I want just a tiny bit of water. I'm going to put one right about there. I'm going to ink it up, spritz it, and I'm going to stamp it down there. And then I'm going to clean it. And let's see, I want another one right about here. And I'm just kind of doing a modified circle. Okay, spritz it and stamp it. This little one is cool. All right, and I'm going to put another one. Get some little water. I'm going to put a little one right in here. And if you want it to spread more, just use a larger circle of water and it will spread. Spritz it and stamp it. And see, you can see where there's no water. But that's okay. When you stamp on top of it, it'll be fine. And then the last one I'm going to do is I'm going to add one up here. Oops. I'm going to ink it up, spritz it, and stamp it. And see, that one had a lot of water to it. So as you can see, it's there. Hi, Marie. Oh, it is so much fun. I love playing with water and ink this way. I'll share some others that I've tried at the end. All right, now, you're probably wondering, well, how did you go from there to there? Here's what I'm going to show you how to do. We're going to go from here to there. This has to totally dry before you can do the next part. Marie, if you want to win one of my cards, share my video. So in order to be able to go on, I did one earlier and let it dry. I like to let mine air dry. I think you get a much better look. Some people will use their heat tool, but you need to know, if I hit this with a heat tool, that water's going to move and so is the ink. So what I do is I just let it air dry. So I'm going to move this over to my table. And I'm going to pull out the one I did earlier. And see, there it is. Now you can see where I taped it and why you had to do that. I'm not going to cut that off just yet, but I'm going to go back to the stamps that I use. The only one that's different is for the leaf. And just so you know, This Touches of Texture one was the Gorgeous Grape. The leaves were these two from Painted Harvest, and that little tiny one is also in Touches of Texture. So I used 2 stamp sets. This one, I don't know if this Touches of Texture had a leaf in it or not. No, it didn't, so I didn't have it. Oh my, hi Linda. Thanks, Marie. Okay, so there's the stamp sets that we used, and I'm gonna put those out of the way. Now, we're gonna go back. This is totally dry because I did it earlier, and you want it totally dry. I'm gonna go back to my Gorgeous Grape. I'm going to open it up, and I'm gonna take my ink, and I'm gonna stamp my stamp right in the center. And look at that, because it's dry, it makes it look like a feathery flower. I love this technique. It's so much fun. I love it. And I have some other ideas to share with you. All right, for my leaves, I'm gonna go back to my Granny Apple Green. I am loving Granny Apple Green. I love this color. And I'm using the textured looking one, this one for the top. I did this as the bottom and this is the top. All right, so I'm gonna ink it up, and I'm gonna match it up as close as I can get and stamp it on top. And I'm gonna turn this one so I get a better angle. And I'm gonna do the same thing with that. And it's okay if it doesn't match up perfectly. All right, and look at that, ladies. Isn't this cool? It's just so much fun. I just love it. And Mango Medley. And I'm going to go back with that same tiny little stamp. And I'm going to stamp right on top. This one is not as dramatic. The ones that didn't have as much ink on it, those had a little bit more ink. Whew, I got something extra I didn't plan on. So there it is. And now we're ready to put our card together. First thing I have to do is I have to cut down my edges. So I'm going to take my trimmer, and I'm going to take off, let's see, this is 4 inches. I'm going to take it down to about there, and it's 3 lines or 3/16. My friend Amanda just has a fit when I use these strange numbers, but I like it. I like the border that I get. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. This is 4 inches also. I'm going to take it down 3, and I'm going to cut this one off. And that cuts off that edge where you taped it so it doesn't look like it was, something was wrong. And I got ink on my fingers and it got it on there. That's the disadvantage to this. You got to be careful. Let me use some water and get it off my fingers, or it'll be all over. All right, we're ready to put our card together. I think I got it now. I'm going to take this piece, is actually about 3 7/8. I hope I've cut it down far enough. Nope, I haven't. I got to cut off some more. So let me get my trimmer out. Let me see here. This one is the same size, so I'm going to cut more off this side over here. I'm taking it down 3. And that's why you always cut this paper larger than you need, because the tape will interfere with your water and the way it runs. There we go. All right, perfect. Now, I'm going to use, because this is watercolor paper, it has warped some. With anything that warps or that you've embossed, I always use tear and tape on the back, and I run it all the way around the edges, because then you have a good seal and it's stuck down to your card. It's not going to pick up. Okay, so there's that. right, and I'm going to keep going all the way around. Don't you just love watching somebody tape? This is the part where it's like, can't you fast forward? But not on live. And really and truthfully, once you get this part done, it's not too bad. And I'll bring the card back in so you can see where we're headed. All right, now I've got to take off my backing. This is the tricky part. My nails are in such terrible shape that I've gone to using the pokey tool. Paper is not good for your nails, so I've got them splitting, and it hurts. And I can't get a good grasp with this, so. It's really sticky once you get the backing off, but the trick is getting the backing off. All right, so I'm going to put this down like so. All right, now I need my card base, and my card base is Granny Apple Green. It's a regular A2 card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to put this down. Now, this ribbon goes all the way around. I'm going to show you this trick that's so cool because it's like, you know, often I try and put my ribbon like across the bottom or wherever so that I have down the side, so I have some place to anchor it. But all you need is a ruler, a hole punch, and this is like the 1/4 inch hole punch. You could probably get by with a little smaller one, and a pencil. And I use the mechanical pencil because it erases, the mark erases really well. So I'm going to take and find the front of your card. Let me move this out of the way. And I measured down 1/2 inch and put a dot. And then I'm going to go over here and do the same thing. Now you don't want to flip your paper around and use the other end. The reason being, if you do that, sometimes it's off just a little and it makes a difference. So I have a dot at 1/2 inch on each side. And I think did I do 1/2 inch there, or was it 3/4? Oh, I know what I did. Because I was looking at it, it looks like it's down further. So that dot is actually where I'm going to put the top of my circle. So I'm squeezing it just slightly. And can you see where my dot is? Do you see it up in there? Hang on, I'll wait a few minutes and see if it shows up. See, my dot is right there at the edge of the circle. And you're going to punch. All right, now this side you want to open. You don't want to punch back there or you'll have a hole in the back. And this time you want your dot even with this side because you're punching down. I gotta turn it so I can see it. I can't see. And you punch. That gives you your space for your ribbon. And then what you take and do is you run your ribbon through your hole, and it'll come around over here. Give yourself enough ribbon, and I tied it on this side so I can come back a little bit. And you want this ribbon to go down in here, like so, and you're just going to tie, oh, I tied a bow. Goodness, I need more if I'm going to tie a bow. I thought it was a knot. All right, but you tie a bow, pull your bow, your ends north to south, and hold it. All right, take the bottom one, make your loop, top one, come over, stick it through the back, and you're going to pull east to west. I have the wrong finger there. There we go, that's better. Okay, come make your loop, just like you're tying a regular bow. And then this piece, doesn't want to come around, comes around, and I use my other finger to punch it through and pull your bow. And then what you want to do is pull it really small and pull, and you just keep adjusting it, and that's how you get your bow to go east to west. But you have to start out north to south, and that wants to flip over, so I'm going to let it flip. Okay, so there's our bow. I'm going to use my ribbon scissors, and I'm going to trim the ends. All right, like so. And there's our ribbon. And now, because I have this ribbon on here, oh, thanks, Marie. I love that idea too. It was just something I thought, well, how am I going to do this? And I just tried it. This I'm going to put on my card base flat. I don't want to pop it up because it would just take too many. And this way, you can put glue all over the back and make sure it sticks down on the edges, because that watercolor paper that's warped is going to try and lift it up. So I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to move it down towards the bottom. And if you don't want a bow, just tie a knot. Some people don't like bows. All right, here it is. Isn't that a cool idea? Now remember, this one, I put water all over the whole thing, and then when I stamped it, it went everywhere, and I went, well, that would make sense. So I had to wait for it to totally dry. So with this one, measure how big of a circle you need and put your water right there and stamp it. Remember to let it dry totally in between, or they're going to bleed out. All right, now let me show you, and remember, anybody who shares my video will get a chance to win one of my cards. Here is one that I did, and I don't even remember which way I had it. Oh, this way. This uses Oh So Eclectic. So I stamped this piece with Blackberry Bliss is on the top. I think it was Rich Razzleberry. And then I used these two leaves. This is the bottom, this is the top. This went on top of there with Blackberry Bliss. This one was, both of these were Garden Green. And then I used this one as Daffodil, and this one on top to get the little flowers with crushed curry. So there's one. Now this, see how I had it taped down? I haven't cut this down. I went ahead and stamped it, and I'll cut it down before I use it. All right, so there's that one. Now here's one that didn't turn out like I thought it would. I used the Colorful Seasons, and I stamped the branch with soft suede on 2 times there. Because it was so narrow, I think my water, I'd put too much, the strip of water was too wide. After it had dried, I went back and put more water around the edges to stamp the flowers. And you can kind of see where it bled some. And then when it was totally dry, I stamped it in with regular ink. The other thing I need to tell you, if your paper is wet, don't try to take your tape off, because look what happens. My paper was wet and it's ripped the paper. So I haven't decided if I'm going to use that or not. I may play with it and see what I can come up with. You may find it on my page later. And then this one was a total failure. I wanted to do this and show you how you can use, because if you don't have, this one had it, but you can also use the back of a stamp, of a photopolymer stamp, and stamp it solid, and then flip it over when it's dry and stamp the piece on top. This one, way too much water. So I used smaller strips for this, and as you can see, I did it this way. This one was Call Me Clover, and this one was the Granny Apple Green. It's just, this is too narrow for it to work. So I wanted to find a little bit wider stem and have it work. So, but you know, the only way you know it works is to play. You just keep playing. But isn't that a fun idea? I hope some of you guys will try it. Okay, let me see if I can turn this up. I will, oops, I'm going to be upside down, so I got to flip it around. Okay, there we go. Oh, it says 6 people are in here. Oh, hi, Pam. Did you see any of it, or are you just getting in? So what do you think, ladies? Do you love it? Something you might try? Remember, it just takes ink and watercolor paper and water. Nothing else, and stamps. Any ideas what you want me to do? Oh, okay, Pam, definitely watch the repeat because you will love this technique. It is so much fun. Not one you can really do in a workshop because it has to dry in between. Oh, I hope you do, Marie. If you do, make sure you share what you tried because I'd love to see what you did. What do you want next? Oh, next week I cannot be here. If you missed the first part, which was sideways and I had to redo it, my daughter's coming into town on Thursday, and Saturday we have a wedding out of town to go to. So I will not have a Facebook Live next week. I will be back the week after. So if you got any ideas of something you want to see me do, or a card you want me to make, or a product you want me to use, send me a message through the Facebook page, and I'll see what I can do. As long as I have the stuff, I'm willing to try it. I have quite a few of the DSPs if you wanted to see something with that. I have quite a few stamps. If you got some older ones, they've still got to be in the current catalog because those are the only ones I still have. I sure hope you try it, Mona. It is lots of fun, and you never know what it's going to look like. No, I haven't done the string art, Pam. Have you? You want to see the string art in 2 weeks' time? We can do it. I got plenty of retired DSP. Baker's twine. You've done it, Pam. It's fun, isn't it? I've seen it. I saw it several months ago before it got really big and crazy on Facebook. But I have not done it. I think what's holding me back is finding an old book because you have to have a book to do it in between. So I'll have to go hunting for a book. You want to see it, Tony? All right, I'll work on finding an old book that I can use. I think I probably got 50 million phone books because we all have them, don't we? So, all right, ladies. Well, I'm so glad you guys came in here. I love it when people are in here and I can chat with you and talk with you. Sometimes I feel a little crazy in here talking to myself, but I just keep plugging away because I know a lot of you watch it the next day, and that's, wouldn't you know it, I would get a phone call right in the middle. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off on that one, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks' time, and we'll do string art. I'll see what I can find. I hope everybody has a great weekend and enjoy the weather. Hopefully it won't rain. And I so appreciate all of you coming in. Have a great night, guys. Bye.